Video games are one of the most popular hobbies in the world, with millions playing every single day. For many, it's an escape from the stresses of everyday life. But when an 18-year-old in Pakistan kills his family, the police are quick to blame his video game addiction. An entire community is left shaken, with parents afraid that their children too might be at risk for violence. Is it possible that violent video games blur the line between game and reality so severely that they can drive the people who play them to commit murder? 18-year-old Zain Ali lived with his family in Kana near Lahore city in Pakistan. He had a brother, 2 sisters and a mother named Nahid Mubarak, who was a healthcare worker. Not much is known about Zain, but friends of the family report that Zain had always been extremely isolated. He would never go out and didn't seem to have any friends. Other than being introverted and slightly unsociable, there was nothing about Zain's personality that would indicate violent tendencies. He seemed well behaved and never got into fights with anyone, which is why it came as a shock to friends and neighbours to learn that Zain had done the unthinkable. Zain Ali was introduced to the online video game PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, or as it's commonly referred to as PUBG, during his stay at a hostel. The game had reportedly captured his mind so completely that the lines between what was real and what was fake started to blur, and he began living what some would consider to be an imaginary double life. PUBG is a competitive survival shooter that consists of a battle royale deathmatch where players are parachuted onto an island and have to scavenge for weapons to kill other players while avoiding getting killed themselves. It's one of the world's top 4 most played video games, alongside games like Fortnite, Minecraft and Grand Theft Auto. On January the 19th of 2022, Zain was playing a PUBG when he allegedly became frustrated over failing to accomplish a mission in the game. So he went to the cupboard where his mother kept her .30 caliber pistol. He got a hold of the weapon and then shot his 45-year-old mother, Nahid Mubarak. When Zain's 14-year-old sister, Magnor Fatima, heard the gunshot from another room and went to investigate, she too was shot dead. Later, he went on to shoot his little 10-year-old sister, Janet, and his 22-year-old brother, Tamur. The grisly murders all took place in their family home in the Kana area of Lahore. After he committed the murders, Zain reportedly left the house to dispose of the weapon in a drain before returning home and pretending to be asleep. After a maid finds the bodies, the police are called and began to investigate. They tried to explore all possible options, but soon home in on Zain Ali after a trail of blood led the police to Zain's room on the upper portion of the house during the inspection of the crime scene. They also found blood-stained clothes and promptly detained him. The news that Zain Ali had killed his family sent shockwaves through the neighbourhood, and the people closest to the family couldn't believe that an otherwise well-mannered boy could have committed such heinous acts against his own family. Once Zain was taken into interrogation, he confessed to the crimes, admitting that he'd killed his family in a fit of rage and that he believed they would come back to life after he'd completed the task in the game. The police determined that the killings were influenced by the game PUBG. Before the murders, Zain's mother had raised concerns about how much he was playing the game, and on the day of the incident, she scolded him over the matter. The police believe that Zain developed psychological issues from spending long hours every day playing the online game. As shocking as the development was, it was not an isolated occurrence for the community of Lahore. 2 years before Zain Ali murders his family in Lahore, after playing PUBG obsessively, a Pakistani man named Bilal opened fire in Lahore, which led to the death of his wife's friend and his friend. Bilal tried to recreate a scene from PUBG after a fight and was so addicted to the game that he even wore the helmet and the jacket associated with PUBG when he committed the crime. Amid a wave of criticism from fans, Pakistan temporarily banned PUBG in July of 2020. Violence wasn't the only downfall for PUBG addicts. 3 cases of suicide occurred within a few days of each other in Lahore, Pakistan. All were young males aged between 16 and 20, and their suicides appear to have been related to PUBG addiction. While the game may not have been a contributing factor, these suicides happened during the COVID-19 pandemic, which significantly disrupted normal activities for young people across the world. Quarantines resulted in the increase in online gaming, with teenagers being the most at risk for gaming disorders. Like with other video games, playing PUBG excessively comes with negative consequences like exhaustion, insomnia, poor quality of sleep, and even withdrawal symptoms that can manifest in irritability and rage. Studies suggest that, while online gaming can be addictive, most players who play excessively use gaming as a way to cope with negative and psychological issues like anxiety or depression. A 2020 report published in the Royal Society Open Science Journal showed that playing video games didn't cause aggression or violence and could even serve as a helping coping strategy for young people. Experts say that the reason there is such a strong correlation between video games and mental health issues is because teenagers who are already at risk and vulnerable to mental health problems use video games as a way to deal with these underlying issues. There is no way to know for certain why Zain Ali would shoot and kill his own family over an online video game. The police and the people of Lahore are certain that PUBG is to blame for these violent crimes and demand that the game be banned. But psychology experts aren't so sure. They believe that there is little evidence connecting violence to video games and that people like Zain, who could already be struggling with mental health issues, are simply more prone and vulnerable than most to aggression.